Good morning, everybody. How are we? We will get rolling here. I think I'm going to try and wear my reading glasses. Maybe I can see better. How's everybody doing today? Let me do my sharing thing. Actually, we'll get... Hey, Monty, how you doing? How's it going there? I will get Katie added and then I will share. Good morning, Tim. How are you? There's Katie. We're going to get her on and it's going to go smooth. And we're connecting. There she is. Good morning. Can you hear me?
I hear you and hear you.
Oh, I can hear you. There we go. I think we're good.
Lost audio.
Oh,
shoot. Okay.
It'll come back.
Okay.
Oh, I can hear you.
I see and hear you too, so I think we're good.
Okay, good. Good
Awesome.
morning.
Good morning. How are you, hun?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How's your new place?
It's good. It's good. Just, adjusting and getting the, sorted out, but it's all good.
Yes. Moving always takes a little time to get settled in. Awesome. Great.
It does. And you are in the process of building, so that's pretty exciting.
Yes, we are in a major transition right now. We've got a giant hole dug in the ground.
Right.
It's a very slow process, but it's moving along steadily at a slow pace. So we're so
there
excited.
You go. Right? Yeah. So I'll let you introduce yourself. I think we've got a bit of a delay, so we'll just work around the delay. But introduce yourself. I'm going to share because you're on and it's good. So we'll go.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Perfect. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm Katie Hedrick. I'm owner of the website katiehedrick.com. Also, my husband and I are involved in the spray foam industry. We run a commercial roofing company called Hedrick's Roofing. We're also owners and operators of a roofing equipment company called The Roof Rabbit, which is, many of you on the page have probably heard of it, but it's a piece of roofing equipment that was invented and patented by my husband, Chad Hedrick. So that's fun and exciting. We also run a company called Roof Coating Life, which is a company where we train and mentor roofing contractors. And most recently, our most recent adventure is we're now running an Airbnb here.
You guys, honestly, I'm like, I see your videos and stuff. I'm like, how are they? Oh my God, you guys have more energy than I can even begin to talk about. But I didn't know about the roof training thing.
Yeah. So Chad actually, So we have a page on Facebook. It's called Roof Coating Life with Chad Hedrick. And it's awesome. Chad actually mentors and coaches other roofing contractors. And so, it's a great thing. So check it out.
Oh, very cool.
It's probably the thing he's most passionate about, honestly, of all the things that we do. So he loves mentoring and coaching, and it gives us a chance to work with commercial contractors from all across the United States. So it's great. It's awesome.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah. But we are based here out of Iowa in the Midwest, and that is where our new Airbnb is located, Little Cedar Lodge, which is actually it's our old house. It's a 3-bedroom cabin.
It's so cute. It's so awesome.
Thank you. We loved it. Chad built it from the ground up. So it's been just a journey, and we're so excited to have guests come and visit Little Cedar Lodge now. So you can book it through Airbnb. So you'll have to come see us and stay sometime, Carla.
You know what? Yes. And I've shared it a few times because it's like, it would be so cool for, like, especially for the people that are hunters and that type of thing. Like, it's just, it is such a cute little place. I didn't realize he built it.
He did from the ground up.
Wow.
So the story on it is, I'm actually from this area. I'm from Iowa, and we got married. He lived in Jefferson City, Missouri, because he had attended Lincoln, and he had already started his commercial roofing company there. So he was established there. So we got married. I moved down to Jeff City, Missouri. And then 5 or 6 years later, when our daughter was getting ready to start kindergarten, I convinced him to move back home to Iowa. And in the meantime, we had built this little cabin just as a weekend place to stay when we came home to visit my family and to hunt during deer season. And so it's the little place that we moved into, and then we outgrew the space. We're building a barn home, and now here we are with this Airbnb adventure that is Little Cedar Lodge.
That is so cool. So you guys have had that for when did you build it?
So we started building it in 2009. We completed it in 2010. It was originally a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And then when we decided to move back home to Iowa, we converted the 1-bedroom into an office. We added on 2 more bedrooms. So all in all, though, it's only about 1,000 square feet. So our family of 5 lived very humbly for the last several years, which it has been an awesome experience. We learned a lot about each other. We learned a lot about gratitude. We learned a lot about being humble. And yeah, it was just a great experience. A great experience.
That's awesome. Oh, that's very cool. Now, you also have your website.
Yes, that is my number one passion right now. KatieHedrick.com. It's all about sharing wisdom with women. It's my story is all kind of wrapped up in that website, and it's all about helping women grow forward and break free from the junk in their past. And so they're able to move forward, to grow forward to a place where they're able to genuinely choose happiness and experience breakthrough and happiness in their life. So I do a lot of writing over there, a lot of blog posting. I also released a children's book because pouring wisdom into children is just as awesome of an opportunity as it is pouring into women, because our children are our next generation. So that's kind of been another little side project.
Yeah, because you didn't have anything else on your list of things to do, you wrote a book, and your sister did the illustrations in that book. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My little sister.
So awesome. That's that is quite that's a cool accomplishment for you and your sister to share.
Yes. And I will definitely give you a little insider scoop. There's more in the works. My sister and I are working together again. And so be watching for some announcements. Lots of big announcements. There's a lot of projects actually in the works, but yeah, more children's books for sure.
Very cool. Very cool. And I know I wanted to actually comment on the video you did you were holding up the signs, and it was for the moms.
Yeah.
That video to me was so important. It was incredible, but it was so important because it's always that thing. And you comment always on when I do my little, you're not alone message.
Yes. I love that, by the way.
It's so important because people, especially, I feel like I was sitting beside a couple of, I think there was 3 of them, fairly new moms, first time moms sitting, and they were actually meeting for coffee. And I was sitting and I could hear them talking because you're right there. So, and I thought, that's when I thought, holy smokes, those things that you do and that when you give that message to them, that's going to connect with them in a way that I wish we had access to that stuff. I say this all the time. I wish, as much as it's that social media can be horrible for this kind of thing, it's also so good for making you not feel alone.
Yeah,
we didn't have anything like that when I had my kids. Nothing. Maybe there was women's, I don't know, there might have been moms groups out there. I don't think there were, but because it was 25 years ago. So to me, it's the more access to that stuff, as long as it's not doing the opposite and making you feel bad, and you're not the perfect mom and getting all the things done and whatever. I think that's so huge.
Yeah. Parenting is, in my opinion, it's the hardest thing that I've ever done. For me, it's harder even than being married, which we're all about. We're all about, Chad and I are all about growing forward in every area of our life. Personally, in our marriage, in our parenting skills, in our business skills. But I have found that parenting is so hard. And a lot of times, social media can be used for both good and also in a way that can cause us to play the comparison game, which is not so good. You know, you'll see these glossy photos like on Instagram, you know, the kids at the pumpkin patch and everyone's happy.
Yeah.
But what you didn't see is the struggles before they took this glossy photo at the pumpkin patch. Like, you didn't see the toddler having a meltdown and, you know, this kid spilled their milk all over their clothes.
Everybody's being a jerk. Yeah.
Everybody's being mean, and mom is sweating, and mom is crying, and mom takes 5 minutes to lock herself in the bathroom to drink her cold cup of coffee. Because it's just like, it's mass chaos, and it's hard, and it's lonely, you know, but it's so worth it. You get to the pumpkin patch and you take the photo and you're like, this is everything. But it can be lonely and frustrating and exhausting, and the days are long, but the years do go by so fast. And it wasn't very long ago, you know, that I was in that season. We had 3 kids, 5 and under. And at that time, we were still living in Jeff City, you know, right before we moved home. 3 kids, 5 and under. And I had no one around to help, you know, and Chad was gone roofing all day, every day. And man, it was lonely. And social media, you know, wasn't as big of a thing then. And I just remember like wishing I had someone tell me, like, it's okay to cry sometimes. It's okay that you feel lonely. Like, it's okay that you're living in a chaotic, you know, mess. And like, here's a virtual hug. It's going to be okay. Like, you're crushing it. You're an awesome mom. And so a lot of my audience is in that season of life. So it was important to me to reach out and just show them some genuine love.
Oh, it's huge. And I will share a story about the picture thing. Is so funny to me because my oldest daughter, Ashley, was about, I don't know, was she 3 maybe? And I mean, she was a pretty easy kid. She wasn't a kid that was like, she was a go with the flow kind of kid. But on picture day, like, we used to go to Walmart or whatever and get their pictures taken. We didn't do that like how everybody does it now. So I'm in the parking lot, and I'm trying to get this dress on her. Oh no. Because she wouldn't put it on at home. So I thought, well, I'll just change her in the car. Like, it'll all be fine because, you know, not a big deal. The child, like, she was like something else took over her body. We had pretty much a wrestling match in the car and in the park. And I was so mad. By the time we got in there, I thought, this is going to be the worst picture I have ever seen. And then she's just smiling like a little angel. And I was like, the hour and a half fight before to get her into this dumb dress. Like, who cares? But it was an important thing. So, oh my gosh. Yeah. I remember that so much.
You look back though, and those are like, you know, they were so crazy frustrating at the time, but you look back and you laugh.
It's hilarious.
Last year for school picture day, one of my boys, and I won't name his name. One of my boys had been telling me, Mom, I need a haircut. I want a haircut. Picture day is coming up. And I told him, I said, buddy, you have a haircut, you know, in like 10 days, you know, like a week from now, whatever. And he left that morning. It was school picture day. Everything was fine. I picked him up off the bus after school picture day, and I noticed he had a haircut that went like this.
Yeah.
And I didn't even say anything at the time, and I was inside. I was like fuming mad.
Yeah.
Hysterically laughing all at the same time. And you know, and so that night I'm like, buddy, is there anything you want to like talk about or tell me about?
Yeah.
No. And I said, you know, your hair looks a little bit different than it looked when you left this morning, you know, on your way to school picture.
Yeah.
No. And I said, buddy, you know, and then we had to have this conversation about, you know, integrity and being honorable with mommy and treating me, you know, how would you want me to treat you? Would you want me to be honest with you? Yes. And, you know, and then we had this whole talk about it. And then the pictures came in, and oh my gosh, girl, it was like, and I was like, you know what? I kept them. I kept the pictures. We did not do retakes. And we just look back at it and laugh now.
You just have to. And I mean, I know, again, Ashley, my oldest, who, like, now I'm bringing up all the things that she was doing when she was she had long, like her hair was almost to her butt, actually. Beautiful hair. And we had neighbors that we were very close to. And they had boys. And so her and their oldest was John. Like these two fell madly in love with each other as well.
Aww.
So they were going to run away and live in a treehouse together when they were 4. Yeah, it was very cute. But she determined, we were there visiting, and she determined, all of a sudden one of her boys came out and we're looking at him, and I'm like, what the heck is wrong with his hair? There's chunks cut out of it. And I'm thinking, his mom and I are looking at him like, what is going on here? John comes out, same thing. Chunks out of the hair. Ashley comes out, hair perfect.
Oh no. Oh no.
What happened to the hair? She cut their hair and was kind enough to clean up the mess and put it in the garbage. So there was no trace evidence. They had to get brush cuts. I was mortified, but of course we laugh so hard at that. It's like, oh yeah, sure. The one with the perfect hair,
yes,
remains intact. Like, no, I'll cut yours, but you're not cutting mine.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Kids.
I know. You know what? They bring on the gray hair, but I have totally decided that gray hair is definitely a crown of glory. Yeah. I'm just embracing that. Like, that's the season that's where I'm going.
Now you had more than one sick recently too, didn't you?
You know, the last couple weeks has been a little bit crazy.
Yeah. You were mentioning that on your posts. Yeah.
Yeah. So my story came out over on my blog, which you can check it out at katiehedrick.com/my story. And I knew, when I started katiehedrick.com like 10 months ago, back in December, I knew at some point that my story needed to be released, which is this awesome story of forgiveness and gratitude and healing and freedom. Definitely go check it out if you haven't read it yet. So I knew that at some point that needed to be released, and it was time to do that. And I knew walking into that, when it was going to be time to release my story, I actually knew that it was going to be kind of a struggle, because it was all written and released for the glory of my God. And so I knew there was going to be some things coming against me, and full on, there was like spiritual warfare going on in my life. Like things were happening. My family members were getting sick. I saw some really crazy things. And 2 of my kids got sick, and I started getting sick. In fact, the night before my story released, typically my blog posts are written and scheduled to release like 2 to 3 to 4 weeks in advance. And I struggled with getting this written. I struggled with getting it scheduled to release. So it's Sunday night. My blog post, my story is supposed to release on Monday morning, and it's Sunday night and it's not done yet. So I sit down on my computer and I'm finishing it and I'm typing, and I feel like something come over me, and I'm like getting sicker, like by the second. And I'm like getting sick, and I'm getting sick, and like I'm getting body aches and chills and like just respiratory. I mean, it literally was just like sickness like washed over me. And so I finished typing it, got it ready to blast out Monday morning. And it was like 8 o'clock, and I was like, Chad, I have to go to bed. And he could tell just by looking at me, like something was wrong. Like, she's really sick. And, you know, a couple of my boys were dealing with sicknesses too. And I was just exhausted. I was mentally, physically, like emotionally drained. So I went to bed. Monday morning, my story came out, and I like instantly was receiving messages of people like, wow, like, thank you for having the courage to share this. Like, this is changing my life. I mean, crazy messages. You wouldn't believe. People were sharing things with me and opening up, and I was, you know, praying with people. And by like Monday afternoon, I received so many messages that people were praying for me, and I like was like being healed after it came out. So it was just this really powerful thing that I mean, I expected some of this to be happening, but not to the extent that it did happen. But everyone in my world is healthy, is getting healthy and moving forward. I feel like we're all back on track, and I feel like we're all back to tackling all the things again. So it's good. It's good.
It's interesting when you share something personal like that, what the reaction is that you get. And with this platform, I've had that happen a few times with people where they've come on, and like, it's taken them by complete surprise what they share. And because everybody that wants to come on or is going to come on is always nervous. They're always, and I'm always like, it's all good. Like, I got you. Like, we're going to be fine. And they're like, I think it's going to, what if I get emotional? And you get all those, and I'm like, it's all good. Whatever happens, it's going to happen, and it's going to be okay. And it's been nothing but awesome.
Yes.
And it's affected people in a way that is so powerful that I appreciate when everybody comes on and does that and shares their personal experiences. That's why this was created. So when I read your post on Monday, and like, that's some tough stuff to share and be open, and here it is, and this is, that is a very tough thing to share. So but it is also needed. I think it's needed.
I agree. I've learned that everybody has something tough in their past, and we all can learn so much from each other. And we all can help each other grow forward by sharing our stories, by being transparent and real and raw and vulnerable. And Carla, I think that you're a phenomenal host. And I think that part of the success of this show is just because of the person that you are. And you're on here every week consistently. You don't make a penny from the show. You are doing this out of the desire in your heart to help people, and it is transforming lives. And I see that, and I am so grateful that you're doing this. I'm thankful for the beautiful person that you are inside and out. I'm so thankful for your daily affirmations that you put out on social media. Like, there are some days like I need to hear that. And I love and I appreciate that you are raw and real, and that you share the good and the bad days too.
Yeah, it's something, I can't even really explain it. Like, people are always like, you're such a good writer, and I'm like, I'm just writing what comes into my head. Like, it's not even, I don't plan it. I don't, like, the night before go, okay, here's the post I'm gonna do, and here's what I get up in the morning, and I go through and I scroll until something strikes me, and then that's just what I write about. Because
that is a gift. Not everyone can do that.
I don't know how come. I don't know why. It's just, that's what I do. And so people are like, you should write. And I'm like, ooh, so being put on the spot and having to write, as I was going to start writing. That's a whole different ballgame.
Are you still working on that?
It comes and goes. It's like once in a while I write a little bit, and then I'm like, let it go for a while, and then I go back. But yeah, it's coming.
When you're inspired, keep working on that. I'm actually doing the same thing, and at some point, my story is going to come out. I'm calling it like my life story.
Nice.
As a book. At some point, it may be years down the road, but when you're inspired, write it down, and then you'll be able to put it all together someday.
Yeah, exactly. It is just, I think it makes it also, like, it just helps people know that they're, I've gone through that stuff. Like, it's not what you're seeing now is, if it's where you're in a good spot, that isn't how it's always been.
Yes, people see you where you are and not where you came from.
Yeah. And I've had people message me and go, I'm really shocked that you, like, I didn't even think, because people put out that, like, what they think they know something, but you never know the whole story. Ever.
I was really surprised when my story released on the blog. I had actually family members that said, Katie, I didn't even know this about you, about your story. And I was shocked.
Yeah. I know we were it was one of your posts, and I was reading it, and I was asked this question. And so I said, I'm going to ask her when we're talking on Saturday. So it was, you said, or you always say, I think you say something, I'm not going to quote it, but you say, I love all of you, or I love you guys, or, like, you're always saying that you love everybody. And the question that was asked to me was, how can you love people that you don't know? And I said, well, I know I know my own answer to that, but I'll let you, like, how does that happen?
Okay. So my soulmate is Jesus. God is a huge part of my life. And we all are messy people that don't always make good choices. And I totally believe that God loved me so much that he sent his son Jesus to die in my place, to clean up my mess. And because he loves me that much, I can love that much. In fact, I'm called to love that much. I'm called to love like in the way that Jesus loved me. And so I do. I love people. I love God and I love people. And I genuinely mean that when I say that. And when I tell people I'm praying for them, I am indeed praying for them. That is my number one mission. That's the number one reason that I'm on this planet, is to shine the light and the love of God.
Yeah. And you know what, I also appreciated your post about the praying. When you say you're praying, but you actually don't, like, are you really praying or are you not praying? Like, you're just saying it. Yeah, I'll pray for you. Because that becomes a bit of a, I think it recently, that has become kind of like, I always use the one hashtag grateful, thankful, blessed, or whatever. Like, it becomes a tagline. It doesn't become, there's no meaning to it anymore.
Yep.
So I appreciated that post very much as well, because that is a thing that, like, are you really doing it or are you not?
Right. Because it's so easy when someone's actually going through a struggle. Sometimes our cop out line can be, I'll pray for you or praying for you. And then we continue scrolling social media. And I have been guilty of that in the past. These days, I'm way more intentional about the moment I say that. I stop what I'm doing and I get on my knees and actually do pray for that person.
Right. Yeah, it is. It is important. And it's always, you see it a lot when people have lost somebody. It becomes that, my condolences, I'm sorry for your loss. It's become just it's like saying, in a lot of cases. So it's, people need to bring that back and bring back their intention behind what they're saying. Because words are powerful.
Yes. So powerful. Yeah. Which is actually scriptural, that life and death, in fact, are in the power of the words that we speak. And that is so powerful. So I recently actually heard this sermon, about, there was a situation in the Bible where someone had died, and it was when Jesus was actually walking on the earth. And it says that Jesus wept with those that were mourning. And so I think that while praying for those people is so powerful, I think it may be even more powerful to actually let them know that you grieve with them, that you mourn with them. Maybe that you don't even, not that you understand it or that you necessarily walked in their shoes, but that you grieve with them, that your heart is broken with them. And I think that is powerful too.
Yeah. And because that is an uncomfortable place for so many people, because you don't know what to do. It's like how do you help somebody who is grieving? And it's kind of that uncomfortable space that sometimes you just need to be there and just let it be. It's tough for sure. But I loved that when you were saying how it was, I think on Wednesday, you were saying how exhausted you were, and you sat down and you were just kind of done. And then your son, that was the cutest. Oh my goodness, that was so cute. But incredibly, that was a little intervention there.
Oh yes. Gosh, that gets me emotional just thinking about that. My kids, God works through my kids and my husband. Geez, I'm blessed beyond what I deserve, but God works through my kids. And I was so ran down, and I sat down at my computer just exhausted, and I hear this tiny little voice in the room next to me, and he's singing this song, I'm just a nobody, trying to tell everybody all about somebody who saved my soul, trying to tell everybody about Jesus. And I heard the word Jesus is like everything I needed to keep going, because that is my mission. And God just worked through this little tiny 5-year-old as he's singing this song, and I peeked in and I took a video. He's just sitting, he's coloring at his desk. Yeah, he's
just working away at his coloring and singing away. It was so sweet. It was the sweetest thing ever. So you guys have got so much going on. How do you guys, and I'm not going to ask you how you manage it, I'm going to ask you how you and Chad together manage all of this, because this is the thing. I was watching something, and it was always like, men never get asked that question. How do they balance their life? And I'm like, oh yes, they do. If they're on this live, I ask them every single time. Yes, I do. But how do you guys balance all of that? Because you guys have got so much. How do you do it all?
I'm so glad the way that you phrase that, because you kind of answered the question in asking the question. And the answer is that we lean into each other so much. Chad and I are 100% a team. In fact, I actually have joked with him. I'm like, someday when we're old, please can I die before you, because I don't want to live even one day without you. And I mean it, you know, and we're a team. And so here's the thing. We never quit on the same day. We run so hard and we're tackling so many things that there are days when one of us will be exhausted, frustrated, you know, sick, whatever, just ready to quit, you know, emotional. I get emotional when I get tired. And, you know, and I'll tell him, I'm like, there are days I don't know if I can keep doing this. And he will embrace me in a giant, beautiful hug. And he'll just speak life and truth over me. And he'll remind me, we're in this together. I've got you. You've got me. We need each other. Keep going. And we never quit on the same day. And we're best friends. We are business partners. We're best friends. You know, we're lovers. We're all of it. I mean, I can't say enough about that man. Also, he has beautiful blue eyes and gorgeous, attractive biceps. But that's a whole other story in itself. But he's just like, after Jesus, he is my everything. You know, and I think for us, another thing is that a lot of marriages have ended because the mom or dad will put the kids before the spouse. And that is not the way that it's supposed to be. That is not the way it's supposed to be. The husband-wife relationship is supposed to come before the parent relationship. And so we don't always succeed at that, but we work to be intentional at that, you know, as much as we possibly can. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, you guys are running businesses together, and I know that can be a very delicate dance.
Yes,
from my own experience. I know for us, we are both can be very strong-willed is the nicest way to put that.
Yep.
We're not stubborn, we're strong-willed. So sometimes that is a clashing thing, and it's hard. It's hard.
I agree. And someone had just posted there, I love that, talking about in the spray foam industry that like things can always go wrong. Oh girl, that is the truth. That is the truth. And so a lot of times, you know, Chad and I are apart during the day and he's foaming, or, you know, what, we're apart, whatever. And he'll call me, you know, and he'll be like, you know, this broke down, this is going wrong. But he also is intentional about calling me sometimes and being like, here's a victory. Like, this is going great. We just landed this contract. Like, here's some great news. So we're intentional about that. Yeah, we're intentional to share everything with each other, you know, the good and the bad, the wins and the struggles. And I think that just like makes our bond even stronger. And we also, we try to be intentional about taking some time to turn off business, which is extra hard for us because we're so passionate about all the businesses that we run. So that's honestly the reason that it's hard to kind of turn off work. But yeah, just being intentional about time together and never quitting on the same day.
That's, you know what, that never quitting on the same day, that is huge, because that's a powerful thing right there, because that is what happens. You get, everybody's mad and you're frustrated, and, you know, like, you just kind of, you might love them, but you maybe don't like them right that moment, right? So it becomes, that is hard. But that's a good one to grow forward with.
Yes, girl.
Grow forward.
Yes,
I love that.
And here's a phrase that I use a lot when we're having a disagreement. I will say, even if I'm mad, I will say, we are on the same team. We're working towards the same end goal.
Right.
We're on the same team, and it will kind of like diffuse things. And then another thing I do is if I get annoyed or angry at him, God convicted my heart in that moment to actually pray for him, to pray blessing over him, which is the last thing that I want to do when I'm angry.
Right.
But it softens my heart.
Right.
It softens my heart, and then we're able to move forward together. So a
Yeah.
couple of great techniques there.
Right. So when you guys do you plan like a date night, or when you're saying time together, just the two of you, how do you make that, how do you incorporate that into everything you're doing?
I do wish I could tell you that we had a weekly date night. I would love to do that. At this point, we don't. It is just crazy and busy. But here's what we do. We travel a lot. And so I call it our window time when we're traveling. That is truly our time together. And we be very intentional, about talking about all the things, everything that's on our heart when it's just the two of us in the vehicle, which is pretty often. Also, sometimes we have the opportunity. He actually does some of my photo shoots. For me, over at katiehedrick.com. And so that is such a fun and special time when we get to go do that, because I feel like we are our old, like, goofy self, like who we truly are. When the kids are involved, it's, you're in parent mode, and you're a lot more serious, and when it's just the two of us, like, I just feel like we're just these silly kids, that fell in love, and I love hanging out with him, and he gets me to do the craziest stuff. Sometimes we do get to sneak away on, a little weekend trip or whatever. Maybe not as often as I would like. But for I'm trying to think, was our 10th anniversary, we took this crazy trip in like 5 days. We drove from Iowa to North Carolina, down to Tennessee, and back up to Iowa. So we were literally, it was crazy. I wanted to go take pictures together for our 10th anniversary on the beach at Myrtle Beach. So we literally drove to Myrtle Beach, took these pictures. I'm not even kidding you. We stayed one night, and then we drove down to the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee, because I'd never been there. And so I gave him one job on this whole trip. I'm like, because I'm a planner, so I planned everything except for this one thing. I said, hey, let's go have an awesome adventure. Let's book a zip line. I was like, here's the brochure. There's a really pretty, like, small zip line over some beautiful waterfalls. I'm kind of freaked out by heights, but we love to do all things nature. So I'm like, small zip line, low to the ground, beautiful. I'm like, here, book the zip line. So I throw him the brochure. He takes care of it. The next morning we show up at the zip line adventure, and they're like, okay, you're all booked in. We got you here for the Goliath zip line. And I look at Chad and I'm like,
what is that?
What is that? It's
my.
It's like the biggest, baddest, tallest, fastest zip line, like, in the United States. They did, like, crazy, totally crazy. So he gets me to go on these, and we did it, and it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And so he gets me to do the craziest thing, parasailing, like, what the heck?
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, the stories, and another thing, when we were in the Smoky Mountains, we hiked up to Klingman's Dome, which is like the highest point. And it was like straight uphill. And this guy, oh my gosh, I got totally worn out on the way up. He literally picked me up, literally carried me on his back, hiking up the top of this mountain. I mean, that's just that's our relationship. That's just, we've got each other. He literally carries me sometimes, and oh my gosh, it's awesome. There's no one else I'd rather do life with.
Well, and it's you guys, and how you met is an interesting story too. So how did you meet?
Okay, this is the craziest story. So the company that manufactures our roof coatings also manufactures other products. So my dad had been involved with that company. Chad had been involved with that company. So we were actually on a company trip, which happens to be a cruise to the Mexican Riviera. I was 19 in college, just basically like a baby still. And Chad had seen me, I guess, at some other company events, but I hadn't seen him. I didn't know who he was. So I was on this cruise ship, sitting down with some family friends. We were like playing a friendly game of poker with pennies or something like that. And this guy comes and sits down right next to me, looks me in the eyes, and he goes, hey, Katie, where's your man at? And I was like,
who is this?
I was so shocked. Like, I was so shocked that I was kind of instantly smitten. And I just remember I was like, once I kind of like got myself together, I was like, man, if you can't drive a 4-wheeler, shoot a gun, and change your own oil, like, I am not interested.
Right.
And he goes, lucky for you, I can do all three.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. And then he chased me around the boat. This is my version. He chased me around the boat for the whole rest of the week. And like, that was it. Game over. So he's actually 9 years older than me, those. And I just remember like he thought I was older. I thought he was younger. And I remember like
interesting.
at the
I
end
didn't
of the
know
cruise,
he's 9 years
yeah.
older than you?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, he's 9 years older. So at the end of the cruise, he goes, how old are you? And I go, this is terrible. I go, how old do you want me to be?
Yeah.
So terrible. So we found out each other's age, and I was like, in the end, it kind of like attracted me to him actually. But I remember coming home and telling my mom, like, I met a guy. And then, you know, it came out like he's 9 years older than me. She's like, oh, but my mom is amazing. She's so awesome. And she fell in love with him too, you know, as soon as she met him. So
he's a pretty
the rest
cool
is
guy.
history.
He's a pretty cool guy for sure. You know,
Yeah,
I appreciate him. I appreciate him very much in, you know, and I actually have to say, when I was posting in Worldwide, I didn't realize you were in Worldwide. So that's why I was always saying Chad Hedrick's wife, because I'm wanting to tag him. Somebody's in there that knows, you know, and I'm like, and then I saw you like it. I was like, oh my word. Like,
oh, that's hilarious. That is so funny. We were actually joking about that this morning because I was like, what
is that about?
Like, and it was a funny joke. And he's like, well, Kate, like, you know, like a lot of the guys know me or whatever, which he is so good about adding value to that group.
Really, I will tell you, he's one of the best in there. There is a select few people in there that do that group and are in that group and understand what the purpose is of it and how to add value to it. He is one of those people. Whether it's being, you know, like going back and forth with Dennis Lawrence sometimes, joking back and forth over all that stuff, or he's just like actually like giving somebody some like helpful stuff. Like he is really, really good in that group.
He is,
for
and he's
sure.
He's incredibly intelligent, you know, like with the invention of the roof rabbit. I mean, intelligence is so sexy. I mean, that just blows my mind, you know? So you guys, if you know, if anyone on the page hasn't, you know, seen him or known about him, you can check out theroofrabbit.com and also roofcodinglife.com. And that's where he actually trains and mentors other contractors. And he does, you know, he posts a lot in spray foam too.
Yeah, make sure that you put the links in the comments after, because I want to make sure I'm following the training one too, because I don't think I knew that you guys did that. So I guess I would, you guys both found Worldwide? How did you guys find Worldwide?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Chad he's always so far ahead of me on everything. Like, I'm technically a millennial, but Chad's definitely more of a millennial than I am. I don't know. He's been a part of the group for
forever.
Ever. Yeah. I really don't know. He's been involved in the spray foam industry for 20 plus years. So
yeah. Well, and I'm really proud of the fact that we've got the women's group going.
Yeah, so exciting.
Yeah, because it's really the badass women of spray foam. And I'm so thrilled that everybody is contributing to that. Jennifer Edwards is running that group, just like she's a natural at it. She's so good. And I'm thrilled that they are sharing and being heard and seen. Yes. It's so awesome.
The women are so important. I loved the post the other day about the spray foam down in the sports bra. Like, I totally related to that, because I bet, you know, like, I spent years on jobs with Chad, and oh my gosh, like the smell of diesel fuel makes me feel like I'm in the foam rig. Like, anytime I smell diesel fuel, and oh my gosh,
And you like that's the thing. I think a lot of people don't understand that there are more women in this industry, not in the executive or admin roles, but actually working on the job sites. And you've been there.
And it's hard stinking work. I mean, that's incredible. Yeah. Shout out to all those awesome women.
Yeah. It's going to be, that group is going to go places, and it's going to be great. So we're going to make some noise and make some changes. And I'm
excited to be a part of it. That's exciting.
It's
awesome.
It's going to be very cool. 'Cause I think, you know, it's finding those things that are overlooked for them. Mm-hmm. You know, like we did the post about what is overlooked in there. Like, and you know, a lot of it is boots, the workwear, you know, it's all of that stuff. Women in trades, just in general, there isn't a place, you know, they don't have the choices.
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and I
Right.
mean, I think it, when it comes to especially like any kind of like suits or whatever you have to wear, if you're going to be
Mm-hmm.
tripping over that, like it can end up being dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, and all that is so important. I mean, because everyone does need to be protected, and they need what they need. And yeah, I feel that. You know, I've had the spray
mhm.
the giant spray foam suits on before, and like, you know, tying up the ankles and, you know, trying to make it work. So yeah, I think it's important to
Yeah.
bring awareness to that.
Oh, hugely, hugely. So you're, and so you guys, with all your businesses, you've got 3 kids, and I know your daughter is quite often on lives with you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, which I think is so cool. So how, I guess, how do you make sure you've got enough time for them with all your businesses? You guys include them in a lot of stuff. So
Yes.
I think that's important.
We do. First of all, I want to say that we're so far from perfect. We always have room to grow. We always have room for
Yeah.
improvement. But I think, you know, there is no balance. There is
No.
no balance. Like, that's such a lie. If
Mm-hmm.
anyone tells you their life is balanced, they're lying, because there's not.
Yeah.
I think it's all
100%.
really just about, yeah, it's just about being intentional with your time and being present in the moment that you're in. If you're having office hours, you're working your butt off, being focused then. But like, if you're with, you know, your kids at the park, if we're stopping to grab ice cream or play at the park, it's like, put your phone in your pocket and be intentional and present. And we do
Right.
also include them in a lot of our business stuff. Chloe is really involved with katiehedrick.com, and the boys are
Mm-hmm.
really involved with their dad, you know, on Roof Rabbit, which is it's so fun. You know, they go over to the plant with us, and they help us ship. And actually, we really enjoy pouring into them and teaching them about the entrepreneurial spirit. Like,
Yes.
they one summer, and I think we talked about this before, they wanted this giant inflatable slide pool thing. And so we said, okay, like, let's figure out how you can earn the money to purchase that. And so
Right.
together they created a lemonade stand. Chad built them the most adorable lemonade stand, and they helped me bake cookies, and we set it up at the local farmers market. And the
Mm-hmm.
3 kids, you know, and they were young at the time, they worked their lemonade stand and they earned the money to do this. So they,
Yeah.
you know, now they spend time working with grandpa, shoring cattle, and they spend time working with grandma, you know, helping clean the house or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But they, you know, we've taught them to understand that we're not just given money, but that we earn money. And so we just,
Right.
you know, I don't know, teachable moments,
Yeah.
in those moments that we get to spend together. And we're super involved, like, and super involved and supportive in the things that they're interested in. We don't ever push our kids to do certain sports or whatever else. It's what they're interested in. We support to the best of our ability. They're all interested in baseball
Right.
and softball. Chad coaches. He spends time coaching, you know. Chloe
Mm-hmm.
loves dance. And so, you know, I'm the dance mom, and I'm there, and I'm doing
Yeah.
her hair and makeup, and I'm at every practice, and I'm you know, supporting her in that. The boys love to hunt. So Chad spends time
Mm-hmm.
hunting with them. I think with our kids, meeting them where they are and meeting them in their interest, I think really helps them, you know, feel loved and valued from
Mm-hmm.
us parents, if we're not, you know, pushing what we want them to do on them, but rather understanding what they're interested in and then intentionally spending time in that with them.
Right. And do you guys do, because when you have 3, it's, you know, that's a, it's, it's hard to get that time with each one individually.
Yes.
So do you guys do kind of, my brother did this with his kids, and I always thought it was so cool that he himself did a date with each daughter. They got to pick what the thing was that they wanted to do, because that was their night or their
Yes.
day for the two
Yes.
of them to really do something that they loved, and not because everybody needed to do it, you know. So it
Yeah.
was really, I thought that was, he's an incredible dad. So I
Aw.
just thought that was always such a good, that's a good thing for people to do, because as a
Yeah.
group, not everybody can be heard, and somebody's going to get, you know, maybe a little bit lost in the shuffle at, you know,
Right.
everybody's going to have their turn at that. But it's getting them each, like you're saying, what they love to do,
Mm-hmm.
and really focus on that, and not push something else on them that you think they would love to do.
I love that. We do try to be intentional
Yeah.
about one-on-one time, and we have taken each one of the kids, our 2 oldest so far, on a week-long one-on-one trip, which is,
Oh,
um,
nice.
well, you know, it hasn't been convenient or easy, because you've got to find, you
Oh
know,
yeah, for
childcare for
sure.
the other 2.
Yeah.
But we took Chloe actually on a cruise. This past April, we took Chase down to Gulf Shores and spent just a week at the beach and went fishing. And then we're going to take our youngest Canyon actually on a cruise this January. So that has been
very cool.
Some of their most special memories. And they talk about that all the time when they got to spend that week alone with mom and dad. Right. And then we have done the date nights as well. So I remember one year for Valentine's Day, we gave the kids coupons for a fancy date night, one-on-one date night with the parents. And so we did this fancy restaurant, and I remember Chad took Chloe. So he had a rose, and he knocked on the door. And I had curled her hair up, and he came in and like a real date, like what, you know, like how a gentleman would actually treat a lady. And he took her out for a nice dinner, you know, and then when it was the boys and each of the boys and mom, you know, he stood outside the door with them. He had them knock on the door, and he helped them give mommy a rose. And then, you know, then the one son and I we went and had a nice dinner, and, you know, we played cards at dinner and just told jokes and laughed. And some of the most special time is that one-on-one time.
Yeah. And that's really key what you just said, because you're teaching them not only how to be, but how they should be treated as well. Like what you said about your daughter, like that is so important, but it's also so important for your boys. Like you have to have that, you know, this is how it should be. And I think that's so cool.
I love, you know, grooming our kids for success is what we call it. Like our boys, we've taught them, you know, to hold the door open. And I remember this one time, Chase, our middle, we were at this event, and it was freezing cold in the middle of winter, and he held open the door. And always for my boys, when they do that, I give them a kiss on the forehead and I say, "Thank you, my gentleman." I've always done that. And I can just tell it means the world to him. So I kissed him and I said, "Thank you, my gentleman." There were more people coming in behind us, so he continued to hold the door, you know, which was great. Well, 5 minutes worth of people went by, and I'm standing inside the door, like kind of getting impatient, like, "Come on, buddy." People just kept coming and coming. And finally there was a veteran, which veterans are so dear to my heart. I had a grandpa, well, a lot of people in my family were involved in the military, but I had a grandpa who was an Army chaplain who was just like everything to me. And so this veteran came through the door with his cane and his hat. So I knew he was a veteran. And he stopped and he shook Chase's hand and he said, "Thank you, young man." And I lost my mind. I bawled. But it was everything, you know, to raise our kids to be honorable. Like that's the number one word at our house that we work on is honor, treating others how you want to be treated. And they're great kids. You know, they're not perfect. We have our messy moments. We have a lot of messy moments actually. But they know what honor is, and they know what it is to honor people and to love people. And they're going to grow up to be productive, honorable adults. And I'm so proud of that.
Yeah. And I think sometimes you feel like it's maybe not getting through to them. And then in that very moment when you think they've never listened, they don't get it, that's what they do, is something like that. So you know it's gotten through. That's a proud moment for sure. That's so awesome. So how about your book, your Penny the Peculiar Penguin?
Yes.
I saw so many people they were posting about it, and I was like so excited to see those posts, because it's just cool when you know people are out there and they're loving it and they're spreading the word about it. Like that's amazing.
I'm kind of blown away. Oh, what's that?
I was going to say, you'll have to tell us, how did that come to life?
Yes. I'm kind of blown away that there's still such a buzz about it. Actually, can you see behind me? You can kind of see.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So here's the book cover. So I am a writer. That's what I am. And it took me 30 something years to really uncover that. I had always written when I was little. Then when we got married, I just got really involved with our roofing business and just kind of like pushed that to the side. And then, you know, here just kind of recently within the last year, like it was just really revealed in my heart, like this is who I am. I am a writer. So I had this little story about a little purple penguin named Penny. And so the alliteration with all the fun P words, and it was just kind of like this idea just kind of rattled around in my brain. And I had told Chad about it, you know, I don't know, gosh, for like a year or 2 years maybe. And one day we're driving down the road and katiehedrick.com had already started. So I was already doing this wisdom for women thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we're driving down the road one day and Chad said, Katie, you know that little book about Penny the Penguin? Like, you need to write that book. It's time to write that book. Yeah. And so I pulled out my phone and we were on the way home from a business trip. I pulled out the notes app on my iPhone. And in 1 hour, I had the whole story written and done.
Wow.
And it just came out of me and it was on my heart. And so it's this storyline about this little peculiar penguin named Penny, and it's based off the book of Proverbs. So she's all about seeking wisdom and doing the right thing. So the storyline, she has a friend and she helps him. She has a friend named Peter the Panda who's having a problem on the playground. And together they solve the problem by seeking perspective from their principal, Miss Puffin. So
I love it.
That's kind of the storyline. So I wrote the story in an hour and then I had to figure out like, who in the world am I going to have illustrate this? Well, my sister Dory is an incredible artist. And so I partnered up with her. I had no idea how to publish a book, but together we figured it out. We dug in. Everything is figure outable. So
yes,
we
it
dug
is.
In. Yeah, it is. So we dug in, we figured it out, and Penny the Peculiar Penguin is out in the world. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the online retailers, and it's really fun because it's still kind of a buzz. And I'm doing literacy night here at our local school. So my mom made these awesome. She made these awesome giant cutouts of Penny the Penguin and Peter the Panda. So we're like dressing them up like trick or treat. We've got Princess Penny and Princess Penny and Pirate Peter. And so we're doing literacy night and we're doing some other fun stuff locally, like Small Business Saturday. We're doing lots of local things, still surrounded by the book. And then of course we're looking into the future, working on other books as well.
That's so cool. That is so awesome. And so your blog is solely based on empowering women too, right?
Yes. Yep. Wisdom for women. And it's all about growing forward and choosing happiness. It's all about growing forward from the junk in your past and being able to live a genuinely happy life. Yeah. It's good. It's the thing I am most passionate about.
Yeah. And it is great. And if anybody, we'll put a link in here because you need to subscribe so you can get the email, because I get the emails.
Yes, they can do that. If they go katiehedrick.com/insider, then they can subscribe and they won't miss anything.
Right. And how do they find your Airbnb?
Okay, so you can go littlecedarlodge.com and you can click a link to get over to our Airbnb listing.
Yes. So you're going to put all those in the comments so everybody can find everything.
I will link all those 4. I won't put our local roofing business. I'll link the other 4 companies in the comments for sure.
Well, you can, because somebody local might be watching. So yes, put your local roof. Yeah, put it all on there for sure.
Okay, perfect. And all 5 of them were on Facebook with all 5 of those businesses too. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Great. All right. Well, I think I will let you get back to your Saturday.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Carla. You're amazing. And I told you before, when I get my podcast up and going, you're going to be one of my very first guests.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait. I'm excited. Yes. I am so excited. So awesome. You keep inspiring us. Both of you keep inspiring us. We're going to get Chad on again too, so he can come on and talk about his stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, because I felt so bad when you guys were on the first time, because the sound was like so weird and like technology. So I was like, they have to come back. We have to make that happen. So we'll get him back on too. So, but I appreciate you spending the time with us and talking to us. It's been awesome. I could sit on here all day with you.
I love chatting with you, and girl, you keep inspiring the world too. Thank you for all that you do on behalf of everyone at Spray Foam Worldwide and everyone that's on your page. We appreciate you so much.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody there too, because it's something that you just kind of do, and it was like there's no expectation. It's just that's what it is, and it's grown into something pretty crazy. So crazy good. So I'm thrilled that people want to come on and be here with me. So you guys all make it happen. So thank you for doing that for me. So, and for everybody watching. But all right, is there anything you want to say to wrap everything up?
I'm just going to say what I always say, and that is grow forward, choose happiness. Thank you for watching, guys.
Awesome. Thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you all next week. Bye for now.
Bye.